That's very dramatic, isn't it? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, democracy fans and people who need something to do whilst Instagram is down. Welcome to the President's Question Time for the 2024 Students' Union elections. My name is Andy Maud, and tonight I am your host with the most. I'm also the change director of the Students' Union, but host with the most sounds more fun. I do have limited hosting experience, I need to confess that, but I've watched Bruce Forsyth for several years when he did Strictly Come Dancing. So going from that to be a good host, all I need to do is occasionally say, didn't they do well? And then do that. And I'll have a 50-year career. That's how it works, as far as I can tell. Tonight, you'll be hearing from the candidates who would like to be your next president for Canterbury, Epsom and Farnham. The presidents work full-time for 1 year within the Students' Union as your representatives, and we have 3 places up for grabs, which means each campus will have their own full-time representative for the first time in several years. How exciting. Back in the Middle Ages of 2008, I myself was an officer at Teesside University Students' Union, and it shaped my life, if not my hairline. I think for the better, but my parents may have a different view of that. It's given me endless opportunities and chances to shape students' lives as I've gone on to work at many student unions. And there's no reason why someone here this evening might not go on to become someone who can change the world themselves, either through their art, through a business, through politics. The world is your oyster, friends. And I mean that for everyone watching as well, not just the candidates and not just the people who end up winning as well. Now, I hope you all know it's not just the president roles that are being voted on this year. We have 9 campus officer positions spanning Canterbury, Epsom and Farnham, and we have a strong number of candidates who are in the running for these volunteer roles. A big thank you to all of those students who have nominated themselves. They're not going to be featuring the debate tonight because otherwise we wouldn't be finishing till midnight, but please do check out their manifestos on UCASU's dedicated election page, ucasu.com/elections. So, for tonight's debate, we have had an incredible amount of presidential candidates across 3 positions. There's 18 in total. Tonight we are going to have, we were expecting 9. I believe it was 7 last time we checked. That might hopefully we'll get 9, but last time I was informed it was 7 who will be featuring this evening. And we'll be asking a series of questions tonight, both in relation to the role and focusing on the candidates' own manifestos. For those watching at home, and assuming it's not gone down as well, you can comment your questions on the YouTube chat and we will ask them later. Now, I've blathered a fair bit, so it's time to meet our candidates, and I'll do some introductions here. I'm not sure how this will work. I think if it's possible, can we show all the candidates? I'll say their name, and if you give us a wave when I say your name. How's that sound? You have to agree with that regardless, I'm the host. So firstly, I'll introduce the Canterbury presidents, and we have Cassie de St. Croix. Could you give us a wave, please, Cassie? Hello, Cassie. Pfizer, I've been told, Pfizer Rizvi, I was hoping to attend. I'm told they're not here. So they may join us later on. But we should have Manasi Kure. Could you give us a wave? Hello, Manasi. Thank you. For running for president at Epsom and here this evening are Ali Petrie. Hello, Ali. We have Mariana Silva. Hello, Mariana. You're very well trained, everyone. You're doing well. And we also have, hoping to attend later, Mig Unyani Navali. They're not here, I'm told, but hopefully they will join us later on. And finally, we have the candidates who are here for Farnham. We have Charlie Skinner. Hello, Charlie. Oliver Bruce. Hello, Oliver. There you are. I'm liking your enthusiasm, Oliver. And finally, we have Suryansh Vashisht. So, and apologies if I've mangled the pronunciation there. That's on me. I have been practicing. I apologise. So what we'll do is we'll give each candidate 30 seconds to introduce themselves and the top manifesto pledge they would like to achieve. And we'll do it. I'll tell you which order we'll do it in, and then I'll ask you to do it. So it'll go Charlie, Ali, Cassie, Oliver, Mariana, Pfizer, although they're not here, but if Pfizer turns up, we'll do it with Pfizer. Suryansh, Megan Yanni, and then Manasi. So that's the order. So just to reiterate, you'll have 30 seconds to introduce yourself and tell us your top manifesto pledge that you would like to achieve. And we will start, if that's all right, with Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm currently a 3rd-year games technology student on Farm campus. I am a student trustee, and my top pledge is basically to to improve the sense of community on all campuses, basically, to make every student feel like they fit and, kind of give them a sense of belonging. That's it.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Next is Ali. Over to you, Ali.
Cool. Hi, I'm Ali. I'm a third-year music business student. The top pledge that I kind of want to focus on is creating more practical skills opportunities for students so that they can have more experience going into the workforce of their choice within the school. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Cassie, 30 seconds. Over to you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Cassie. I'm the current president at Canterbury campus. And my top pledge for this year is to protect the student experience in a year of budget cuts at UCA.
Thank you very much. Oliver?
Hi, my name's Ollie. I'm a third year student on the film production course. One of my top pledges is to open up green spaces on Farnham campus, but maybe on all campuses, to support with students' kind of mental well-being and to help open up the kind of greener spaces for everyone.
Thank you very much. Mariana?
Hello, I'm Mariana. I'm studying music business and management third year, and one of my pledges is community engagement. I would like to create a better environment and to try to get more students involved and start creating and building a strong community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Suryansh.
Hello, I'm Suryansh and I'm from MA Filmmaking. And my major goal would be to be your voice, the student's voice. And I will be including more regular activities for students to unleash their inner activities and creativity. And would be addressing challenges for UK and international students, especially encouraging some sustainable methods. And I will be fostering communities through events bridging for UK and international students, promoting mutual understanding and collaborations.
Thank you very much. And I think the last person we've got is Manasi.
Hello, I'm Mansi. I'm a MA product designing student. My aim for this year would be like building a community where people can express themselves and like bringing everyone together. Also, would like to focus on the part where I could create a smooth transition in the professional world for the students later on after the university is done. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you to all of you. It's not, I appreciate this is a lot, putting yourselves up to literally put yourself up to popular vote for your ideas. Like I've done it. A lot of other people have done it who are watching this. I've got full admiration for all of you. So thank you very much for doing this. So for all of you, for everyone, for every candidate taking part this evening, you can read the candidates' manifestos at ucasu.com/elections. But let's go on to the debate. We have our first question. It's a pre-prepared one. And it is this: cost of living is an important issue for students. What initiatives that don't already exist would you like to see implemented at UCA? Now, I'll give you 90 seconds to answer this question. I will be strict on the time. So don't be overrunning now. I can get grumpy if I need to be. So I will do it in order. I'm not going to tell you which order it'll go in, but you know the question. It's a random draw. So the first person who we would like to ask this question to is Suryansh. Suryansh, if you could answer that question, please.
I'll be providing more employment to the students. I would be planning to make a canteen where the students would be running the canteen. It would be for the students, by the students, and with the students. I'll be creating more over 500 more hours of jobs, for part-time jobs for the students, so then they can get subsidized foods and travel as well. I will be planning on the behalf of the university. I'll talk to the authorities for getting various discounts for the students, and also make aware. I'll also make the students aware about their rights and benefits, and I will also make many financial literacy programs and workshops and seminars on financial literacy and managing their finances. I will also be looking for managing subsidized transports and meals for them.
45 seconds. Oh, is that your answer?
Yeah.
Thank you. Just so you know, your sound is not fantastic. It was when you introduced yourself, but I struggled to catch some of that. But if you double check your microphone whilst we're doing the other questions, and hopefully that will sort that out. We're going to skip a couple. Mansi, I believe, is next up.
Hello. Yeah. So as I said about community building, I believe like when everyone helps each other, that would be more beneficial. So mainly, I believe the people who have already been through the university, as in who have already lived in the university, that would be they would know more. So I would strongly build a alumni connection, alumni network, and like I would want the alumni to I would request the alumni to help the students who are already living here, because I believe they are the one who might be knowing more from a student's perspective. Also, there are a lot of scholarships out there where which students don't know about. So I would be making people aware about those scholarships. And there are a lot of part-time jobs as well, where by networking we could get through that. If not through online platforms, but through networking and all sorts of things, we could.
45 seconds.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I feel like I interrupted you now. Thank you very much. Next is Cassie. You have 90 seconds, Cassie. Over to you.
Hello. So UCA already has quite a few really good cost of living initiatives, but something I would really like to see them do is put a budget behind the working groups that are working on this. So currently a lot of the cost of living initiatives that are being implemented are done without any kind of allocated budget, which means that it's having to be taken out of people's allocated budget, and they are obviously reluctant to do so. I think if UCA were able to commit an allocated budget to the cost of living crisis, we would be able to get some more initiatives off the ground that would be more beneficial for students. Some of the ones that I'd really like to see opening up is a food pantry for students that has very low cost or free food for people in crisis. I would love to see UCA in partnership with Stagecoach or TfL to give students reduced transport costs.
5 seconds.
I'd also really like to see more transparent application processes for bursaries. So there are lots of bursaries that UCA has for students, but actually they're not very accessible or easy to find. So a really quick and easy how-to guide on how to apply for bursaries. And also I'd like to see a new bursary specifically for hidden course costs. So when you might find that a course is costing a little bit more to get your project completed, you could apply for a bursary that means you can use the materials that you need for your projects to be completed. But that all comes down to UCA supplying a budget.
10 seconds.
That's it.
Landed that pretty well there, Cassie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mariana, you are next up. 90 seconds for the same question.
Hello. So I thought about creating collaborations with local businesses because it would be easier. So the students could have a discount or vouchers, as well as transports, because I believe that there are a lot of students that they have to travel to go to uni. So to have like a collaboration with transports to have discounts, it would be easier for them. And as well as creating new work opportunities. Of course, as Cassie mentioned before, it's needed to allocate a budget to it. Otherwise, we can't really create these new work opportunities. But I believe we can make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have, once we go back to the screen again, it's Charlie, you are up next. So 90 seconds, please, on the cost of living question.
Yep. So I know that the canteen currently is doing like £2 hot meals. I like to increase like the availability of that, whether it be more allergen-friendly options, whether it be like dairy-free, gluten-free, and so on. So there's an increased availability of students who can actually make use of that. Alongside potentially maybe like vegetarian or vegan are more affordable than currently what's offered. I'd also like to see kind of, the uni collaborate with local food banks nearby each campus, because then that will increase the accessibility that some students can get to having, just some form of food that they can just,
45 seconds.
they can just go to the uni and get some food that will kind of help them out if they're struggling with the cost of living crisis. I'd also kind of like to loosen up some certain bursaries, like the tech bursary, for example, because different courses are going to have different costs. And if a course has, requires something that may cost far more money than the bursary can give out as a maximum, I want to see kind of like loosening whether they'll be able to give more money
10
towards
seconds.
that and so on. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Oliver. Oliver, 90 seconds.
Yeah, I believe that the cost of living crisis is kind of a real core issue and something I've outlined within my manifesto. As part of that, I'd quite like to make more access and more availability to microwaves on campus for students to bring their own meals and heat them up in a safe space, as well as kind of voicing still that there is hot water available on campus so students can heat up their own food. But also bringing that availability to the library, which has had a recent closure of cafeteria. So making sure that there's multiple spaces for students to kind of heat up their own food, as well as the continued free breakfast meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's a really good initiative, as well as £2 meals, continuing that. But I do agree with Cassie that, a student-run food bank would be a really good system and something that perhaps could be across all campuses, as well as trading in and trading up used materials. So may that be old textbooks, kind of film, whatever it may be. But so there's a system for that.
Thank you very much. And our final candidate is Ali.
Cool. Hi. So I also set a lot of clearer rules on the relief for bursaries and stuff like that because I have a personal experience with it where I thought I was going to be able to apply for a bursary and I was not able to, but I was not aware of that until I looked into the small print of it. So getting clearer information about that as to what people can access, and also having that access available for international students as well, because a lot of it is only for students who are within the country. And then also adding on to the cafeteria and canteen thing with the $2 meals, I kind of was thinking of doing a saver menu kind of thing where people could pick and mix their choices, so that way it's not just a $2 set thing. You could what a McDonald's kind of serves, and then also offering free no spend fund events where it gathers community, so having a board game night where people bring their board games so everyone can play them, and then also finally working with courses to supply necessary materials such as film for the photography courses and calico for the fashion courses, because those are just a cost that should not be necessary for students. Thank you.
Thank you. I have seen in the chat Pfizer is trying to join us, but I don't think they've joined us. They're in the formal chat yet. If and when they join, I'll involve them. But until then, we will continue. So hopefully this isn't too bad. Hopefully this is roughly what you expected. Well done to all of you. This is tricky stuff. The next set of questions will go. Oh, by the way, just in case for people watching at home, you can pose questions to the president candidates via our YouTube stream, and we'll be picking a couple of those shortly. So the next is I'm going to pose the next set of questions to candidates at random. You'll all have the chance to answer at least one of the questions, so don't worry if I don't ask you for the first one. Once again, we're going to have 90 seconds to answer this. Same as before, I'll prompt you at 45 seconds and then again at 10 seconds. And hopefully it's not too off-putting when I start whispering into your ear whilst you're trying to answer the question. So the first question is, what is your understanding of the president role? So again, you'll have 90 seconds to answer this. And the first candidate to answer this question is Suryansh. If you could answer that, please, Suryansh. What is your understanding of the president role? I can't hear you, Suryansh, I'm afraid.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. You're back up. You're unmuted.
Yeah. My main motive would be to be the voice of the student. I would be listening to the students and improving on the key areas for the universities for the betterment of the students. I'll be prioritizing mental and physical activities and will be hosting annual events and diverse activities for cultivating a supportive and cultivating a better campus community. And that would be my role to make a better environment, and no international students should feel that they are living away from home. And I would like to make a environment around the campus so that the students would feel nice and happy to be here, and so that they can unleash their creativity. I would make events, and I would create seminars and workshops for the students to let them make out the most of their creativity.
Thank you. Can I just follow up on that? You were talking about like you want to run events for international students specifically. Do you have anything particularly in mind? Anything that you particularly would be keen to see getting done that isn't currently done?
Actually, I myself am I am an international student. I have been here for the last 1 month now, and I have been facing some difficulties. Like for the first time, when I have to go to Farnborough to collect my BRP, I had some difficulties to find that spot to go there and communicate to people to reach that particular location. So I had to manage it all by myself. I had to ask some people all around, and it was a little bit difficult for me. So I will make something special for the international students so that they cannot so that they won't face these type of issues.
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up on that one. The other people I was going to be asking that question to aren't here, so thank you for that answer. The purpose of an officer is to be the figurehead of the campuses that they represent. It's to represent students of the university to the local community, speaking on their behalf, and to make sure that attending key university and meetings, as well as campaigning on all your goals. It's pretty thorough, is what I'm saying. So thank you for your answer there. Our next question is around our relationship with the university itself. So the question is, what kind of relationship, or what type of relationship do you think the Students' Union should have with the university? So we'll do this in the same way. And Oliver, I will ask you to go first, please. What type of relationship do you think that the Students' Union should have with the university?
I think the Students' Union should have a very close relationship with the university, as it's where all, it's where we all study. It's where all we all want to learn, and it's all where we kind of have chosen to go to. It should be collaborative. It should be a constant dialogue. I want to make sure that there is an effective communication always with the university whenever there are thoughts or feelings like have been said for maybe international students or UK-based students, that they can share that with perhaps myself, and that could be shared with the university to make it a better student experience for all. So the only way to do that is really through good communication and having a close communication with the university, which I hope I pride myself on and would like to bring.
Thank you very much. Next candidate with the same question, Mansi, what type of relationship do you think the Students' Union should have with the university?
Yeah, as Oliver mentioned, it should be a close relationship. I feel a lot of international students basically feel the gap between talking to other people, like the student bodies or like anyone in the authority. So I feel there should be a very open and like a friendly relationship, friendship between the students' union and the students out there, because if we can't like communicate with each other, then I don't think the problems could be done. So like a very friendly and like a friendly relationship.
Thank you very much. And the last person for this question is Mariana. Mariana, what type of relationship do you think the student union should have with the university?
Hello. I believe the relationship that the student union has to have with the university is close. As Oliver mentioned as well, I think communication is key. If we are representing our students and all of their voices, then we need to also be aware of what is going on with the university and vice versa. So if there's a lot of concerns from the student body part, they are coming to us. I think that should be communicated to the university and try to solve it together, not just send it to them and they'll solve it. No, I think we should work together for a better future, not just of the union, but as well the university, because I think we should work really side by side so we can get a better outcome and more visibility for both the union and the university. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe Faiza has managed to join us. Faiza, I know you've been trying to join, so hello, welcome.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Not to worry, we could see you in the chat trying to join in. I'll hopefully as we go, I'll start asking you questions as we go, but I'll just carry on from where we were up to this point. So, Oliver, Mansi, Mariana, are there any circumstances you've all talked very strongly about partnership and working collaboratively? Are there any circumstances where you would take a more challenging approach with the institution? And that's an open question. If anyone wants to jump in with that to an answer.
I'll go. Obviously, we are the voice of students, and having a good dialogue is important. But obviously, if there's any concerns that students face, which have already kind of been voiced a little bit here, we should be able to bring that up with the university body directly, and shouldn't need to sugarcoat it. It should be direct. I think that's the only way then that improvements can be made and the students' experience can be better. So if having the right tone for right different situations, of course, is needed. You can't, you have to understand how students feel for a certain issue, and then the level of action or kind of communication that's required for that. So it's important just to be able to do that at different scales and understand when to do that. Yeah, I hope that adds to that.
No, thank you. Mansi, Mariana, anything that you would like to add to that?
The only thing
or disagree with?
I have a really similar opinion with Oliver. I think there were situations that already happened where my friends had some concerns, so I told them, let's go to the student union to try to solve that, and they tried to solve it. For example, like feedback on grades, that people might think that professors might be opinionated and all of that, and I think that should be transmitted clearly as water to the professors and try to understand what is going on, because sometimes most of the students might think that, but they don't speak up, and if they don't speak up, we can't do anything. So might as well just have that connection with the university, so we are transparent as water, and we can actually send that message through. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Mansi, you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Yeah, I would like to point out a thing. So probably what the university could initiate is we could have a particular. I know the students' union is open at all time for all the students, but maybe they could have like a particular timing where emails can be sent and the student body could be there for a certain amount, certain period of time, and then the students could just walk in and talk about their problems. A particular time allotted to this session, so maybe that could be done, so that instead of just yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. So it's an incredibly important relationship, as you've all expressed very well. Something probably people might not know is that almost all of our funding, or at least a significant amount of our funding, it comes from the university. So we are independent of the university, but £400,000 of our spending money comes from the institution itself. So that's an interesting. It's an interesting thing to balance when you're lobbying for students, and striking that right balance is incredibly important. So we'll move on to the final question before the break. And this question is, how will you ensure you achieve your manifesto aims whilst balancing this with the other demands of the president role? Same way as before, and hopefully people will have a sense of whose names I'm going to be saying for this, if you haven't already given an answer. The first person to answer this is Ali, please. How will you ensure you achieve your manifesto aims whilst balancing this with the other demands of the president role?
Cool. So I think I'm quite a busy-minded kind of person, so I can usually take on quite a few tasks and thoughts at a time. What I work with best right now is I've been using like Google Spreadsheets to like kind of organize my brain a little bit. So I'll be like trying to do everything at once, but also like keep it organized as well. I think also a lot of my manifesto aims are very like proposal based kind of thing. So sticking to a deadline and like working under like a time, because I'll be planning out like a calendar for my entire year of what I want to get done when, and that'll be made very transparent to people who are curious about it. So that'll be how I kind of balance everything as well as the presidential demands.
Thank you very much. It sounds like a thorough spreadsheet you'll have there. So
yeah, I like spreadsheets a lot.
Me too. Charlie, same question. How will you ensure your manifesto aims? How will you ensure you achieve your manifesto aims whilst balancing this with the other demands of the president role?
Well, since I like to multitask a lot of things at once, it seems like the type of thing that I'll be able to kind of handle alongside just normal presidential tasks. My manifesto has got it's kind of split between things that will directly be, some things that I can campaign for within the SU directly, and the other half is kind of like, working with the actual university. So as a president, since you'll be collaborating with the university itself, I can kind of, get these campaign items done alongside that. Because if I'm needing to have a constant communication with, the university itself, then there's also more clear pathways on being able to get those manifesto aims done, especially the ones that focus around modifying things that may apply more to the university than the Students' Union itself. I don't know, it's kind of like trying to keep a steady structure throughout the entire time of the role. But I feel like it's one of those things that's difficult to determine like from before, but when you're actually in that role, then it's easy to actually, mentally map it out and see how you can kind of achieve everything alongside each other. That's it.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, Cassie, how will you ensure you achieve your manifesto aims whilst balancing this with the other demands of the president role?
This is a really interesting question to have as a current president that's trying to do this, because it is actually really, really difficult. And as much as last year I sat here and pledged all of my campaigns, it's been really, really difficult to get them all done. I think moving forward and having a better understanding of the role, you really need to identify what your key targets are and whether that's a UCA issue or a union issue. And if it's a UCA issue, it's about finding out where it fits into their committee structure. So knowing what board you might be tabling a paper at, if you want to change something, helps you work back from that meeting date. So if I know what meeting I need to be presenting a paper at, I can work back and go, okay, well, I've got 3 months to get this project done and get all of the research I need in order to prove the thing that I want to prove to get my campaign done. I would also say that downtime is not downtime. Downtime is cleanup time. And it's where you go back through all of your to-do lists and every project that you've kind of started and not quite finished and start tying up loose ends. Because as much as there will be quieter periods, there is never a time where there's not work to do. So it's always about utilizing your time as best you can, and making sure that you're not losing things in the process of being so busy. So yeah, I would say making sure that you have proper project plans so that you know when the start and the end of a project is. And then if life happens outside of that, you're still able to come back to those main points of reference.
Thank you very much. Now, Pfizer, well, that would have been, at this point, I would have gone, right, time for, we'll have a break and have a little break. But Pfizer, you've joined us late due to technical difficulty, so I'm going to give you the chance to answer a couple of questions that everyone else has had a chance to answer. So the first one, which you might have been watching, I'd like to give you 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your top manifesto pledge that you would like to achieve when you're ready.
Okay, should I begin now?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, well, I think the president and the role of it is to communicate better with the students, and I think to campaign for their needs and support what they require in terms of be it like any type of support or educational based or accommodation based for international students or just the UK based students. So yeah, that is for this question.
Thank you very much. And then the next question, which I was going to ask of you earlier, but you weren't here, so I shall ask it now. And you have you've got how long do you have to answer this? I think you've got 90 seconds to answer this. What is your understanding of the president role?
I think that sorry, should I start now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I think the understanding is that the president has a role to sort of do campaigns that as a normal student, we can collaborate with the right now, like Cassie is, in the president role right now. Sorry, I'm not good with the speaking, just to make it clear. But yeah, otherwise, I think, just can you give me a second? I'm putting out notes though.
Absolutely, no problem. Pause the clock, please.
Yeah, so I think just to work on campaigns to make like a positive change for students and expand, more opportunities, be more approachable, get the cultural diversity in one place, sort of get to know the alumni, the other departments. Yeah.
30 seconds to go. Sorry, carry on.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Well done, everyone. Again, this is a bit of an odd thing, and especially doing it online. So, it's very well done to all of you. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to take 10 minutes to give you all a chance to have a comfort break, and myself to have a comfort break, quite frankly. And in the meantime, you lucky people, we have a little video which we're going to show you to explain the single transferable vote system that we use in the Students' Union elections. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, which is 6:20. Don't change that channel. See you soon.
Creative Arts Students' Union uses the alternative vote, also known as AV. So how does AV work? Let's say we have 5 candidates in our election for Students' Union President. When you vote in the election, you'll be asked to rank the candidates in order of preference. This means you need to put a number 1 by your favourite, a number 2 by your second choice, and so on. In every election, a candidate called Reopen Nominations, also known as RON, will run. In the event you do not wish to vote for any of the candidates on the ballot, you can put RON as your number 1 choice. To win, a candidate must reach quota, which is the total number of votes divided by 2 + 1. In our election, there have been 1,000 votes, so quota is 501. The votes are counted in rounds. In round 1, we count the number of number 1 votes that all candidates have received. We can see here that Jim is the most popular candidate with 400 votes, but no candidate has reached the quota of 501. As no candidate has reached quota, we now eliminate the least popular candidate. In this case, this is Ron, who only got 125 votes. We then look at the ballots that have marked Ron as first choice candidate. Some of those ballots also have a second choice vote. We transfer these second choice votes to the relevant candidates and count the votes again. In round 2, Jim is still most popular with 425 votes, but still no candidate has reached quota. The least popular candidate is Gemma, who is eliminated and her votes are transferred to the next favourite candidate. This process continues until either one candidate reaches quota or only one candidate remains. If a candidate reaches quota, they're automatically elected. In our election, Bob didn't quite reach quota by the last round, but as he's the last candidate remaining, he's elected. For more information on AV, check out the Electoral Reform Society website or contact the returning officer in your students' union.
You can turn your cameras off, by the way, candidates, if you want. We don't feel like we have to watch you for 5 minutes just staring at the screen. I'm going to play for time whilst I'm waiting for everyone to return. What I've realised is that as I speak, my head is when everyone's there. I have to do that to be seen. Well, I'll give everyone a bit of a chance to come back. I hope you all took the opportunity for a break. I went to have a chat with my cat, who's having a great time. He's asleep. Clearly, the sound of my voice just does that to all creatures, both human and not human. I hope the rest of you are enjoying yourselves. I think there's one more person I can see needs to join. There we go. I think that might be everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is anyone missing? Actually, I'll just ask that directly. Is anyone missing who was here before?
I think we're missing Pfizer.
Pfizer. Okay, we'll give Pfizer a minute or two to come back. If there's anyone on the chat, and I have seen some questions pop up, please fire away to ask a question. I believe we are also accepting questions on Instagram, which is working now. Good news, everyone. Our evenings, we will be able to fill our evenings with something. I'll give Pfizer 30 seconds. And hopefully she can rejoin by the time we get to the end. So the way that we'll do this is we'll take the questions we've received online, and there'll be open questions. So anyone can, if you think I have got the perfect answer to that, jump in. I will try my best to ensure that everyone has a reasonable amount of time. We'll see how successful I am at that. And we'll see how we go.
Is it okay? Like, I don't know.
Someone has someone in the background there.
It would be helpful,
I think that might,
but it's not necessary. Yeah.
I'm going to give Cassie just a second to talk to the student who's clearly walked into the office.
That's why I was like, it's break.
Always on duty.
I thought that you're sitting here.
Cassie, are you back? Nope. This could be your future, gang.
That's how you manage.
Yeah. Most of the time not, but every now and then, apparently on a during question time, if you're in the office, it might be there. Hello, Cassie.
Hi. Sorry, I've just had Pfizer come running in. They're still struggling to join.
If they're able to, is it an internet connection issue? Do you know, or?
I don't know. They don't seem to know what the issue is.
What we'll do is I'll ask the question. We'll put it open. If Pfizer, again, as before, if Pfizer's able to join, I'll give Pfizer the chance to answer it as and when we have the opportunity. Seems the fairest way to do it. Is that all right with everyone? Try and be fair.
Yeah.
Good, because I don't have a better way. Brilliant. So the questions I've got. The first question is from Dom_H on Instagram. How would you like to improve the sense of community on campus? Anyone put their hands up, jump in. That's an open question, and we'll see where we go. How would you like to improve the sense of community on campus? Ali, I can see your hand up first.
Thanks. So basically, I just want to do like a monthly feedback social kind of thing, like having a monthly event where people can get together, chat with me about what kind of like problems they're having on campus, if they like want to initiate anything, just kind of like keep an open book kind of thing with people. So doing more events, doing more like fun and free events is one of my things. So again, having like a board game night or like karaoke or like a quiz night kind of thing. So that way people can like do more on campus and get more involved with the student union as well. And I also want to like make sure that people know what's there for them like a bit more than they already might do, because there's posters and stuff like that, but like having people introduce themselves like as a society a bit more often, and having people just like getting to know each other and seeing each other and supporting each other is like the biggest thing that I think at least the Epsom campus is lacking right now, because I think a lot of people are struggling to know each other and to meet people because we're all like sectioned off into like fashion and business and stuff like that. So just kind of mixing those boundaries and working together is what I kind of want to do with people. Yeah.
Thank you, Ali. I think next, when I asked for hands, I think I saw Mariana put the hand up next. There we go. So Mariana, you can answer next.
Hello. So I believe that if we start creating more events on campus, if we have activities, not just board games and all of that, I would like to include that so we can create more teamwork and all of that, because that can improve for how to build a community. And I would also like to have a suggestion box where people could get their ideas, so we could they could be heard, and we could try to create these student focused activities, as well as creating moments within the societies, and try to promote more the societies, and try to use the spaces that we have at uni, although we don't have principally in an Epsom campus. We don't have like a specific place where students could do these activities, but I believe that we could together improve that and come up with some ideas, so we could solve these and have more activities on campus to try to build a community. Thank you.
I'm just going to follow up for both of you here, if that's all right, just that, because you're both running for Epsom campus, and you've both suggested that maybe there's a lack of an engagement from students, or that there's a significant number of students who don't engage with the students' union. Why do you think that might be at Epsom? And that's for both of you.
Oh, sorry, Mariana.
First, or can I go first? I don't know. It's up to you.
Oh, heck. I should toss a coin. Mariana, I tell you what, Ali, you went first, so Mariana, you go first that time.
Okay. So I think there are a lot of people that first our campus is really close to London, so people just travel there to go to parties, and to just travel around. But that implies to waste a lot of money. So if we could have events on campus, I think people could be more engaged with it. But the thing is, people just go to the classes and then go away. Our university has, principally in the business school, we have only 2 or 3 days per week of classes, which might be only in the morning. So on the afternoon, why will they stay until and wait for a society that only starts at 5 p.m., right? Because it's after the classes are over, usually. So I think we would have to, for example, the idea of a suggestion box. I mean, they are the ones suggesting, so we can grab their ideas and try to get them involved. So I think if we start getting them involved in the preparation of events or quiz nights, that might be interesting for them, because they will be part of something bigger than themselves. So they will be like engaged to do and to create this community building, and I think that can help. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And Ali, what do you think?
I think so for the past like few years, I mean, we all know there's been like the Kent president and the Surrey president, and I think that is a bit too much for like each president to give their main focus to people. So I think it's hard to get really involved with the student union when the president, like the student union, can't really give the full attention and focus to the campus, like to one campus kind of thing, because they're trying to juggle 2 campuses, and I find it's a bit much for someone to do. So I think that's like a bit kind of why people don't really get involved, because they don't really feel like they can be focused on. And I think the Epsom campus has felt a little neglected within the past few years, at least for the people that I've been hanging around with. And so I think it's just like putting a little, like getting back out there, getting to know people, getting like talking to the students, making people like notice that that you are there, that you are paying attention to them. Because again, the presidents for the past few years have been doing such good jobs about for what they have been given. But I think as we move on to 3 presidents, I think it'll be more about getting back into the community as like a quote unquote like leader, and working with students to figure out what they want for their campus, and not just for both campuses combined, because each campus has very different needs.
Okay. Thank you very much. What we'll do now is we'll go to the second question we've received from Rajan, one of our current presidents, who is rerunning, hasn't been able to join us here this evening. But his question is, as a presidential candidate, how do you plan to support students who may feel isolated on campus, ensuring they have access to the necessary resources for their well-being? Open question, but if it could be people who've not spoken to the last question, please. Suryansh, go on.
So what I have planned, I will be meeting many volunteers from different classes, from different batches, and I will make them volunteers to talk to their batchmates and classmates, so that instead of the students going to the suggestion box, they can directly talk to the volunteers and the classmates, as they may feel more comfortable talking to them, and instead of mailing it to me or to the president or into the suggestion box, they can go and they join more of the students can join the student union by volunteering the student union. They can go and talk to people. We can arrange events for students what they want, not what the student union would want to give to the student, but what actually the student wants from the student union. That would be my main goal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to just suggest something to you again. Your sound is quite bad. If you're able to get some headphones or something, before the next question for you, that might help, because I caught bits of that, but not the whole thing, and I want to make sure you get the best opportunity to put yourself forward. I'll put the question. The question remains open. Would anyone else like to add, as a presidential candidate, how do you plan to ensure support for students who may feel isolated on campus, ensuring they have access to the necessary resources for their well-being? Oliver, you put your hand up like when I started to answer that question, so I'll just go straight to you.
Yeah, sure. So I think if any time a student feels isolated, the student president should be there as a voice and for someone who they can go to. I think that for the first part, it's important that you're not just heard, but you're also seen on campus. So you're there as a visible person that somebody can go to, somebody can talk to, and somebody who has or does feel isolated, they can go to them. So I think it's partly being there, but also making sure that a message is sent to a student, if in case they feel, I don't know, they don't feel they can speak to someone. So it's both speaking out to encourage people to come see you and be kind of and have any thoughts and bring them to you. I think doing that just kind of will give them that access to support their well-being and those basic resources if they need further direction for anything student, if it's living, if they're struggling to perhaps settle in to the area, or they need to understand their course better. It's how we can then help that student for that particular course and their particular situation to improve that well-being. So being, I guess what I want to say is being communicative with them, kind of speaking out to them, but also being visible there so that they can help their access to support their well-being.
Ask a follow-up, Oliver. It does. I'm going to ask a follow-up if that's all right. How do you strike the balance of ensuring you're available and accessible and communicative, and you clearly are, without taking on the role of becoming a counsellor for some students who are struggling? Because you won't be a trained counsellor, but if you're putting yourself out there, you might end up students might be coming to you with quite serious situations. So how do you ensure you try to avoid taking on too much or taking on things that might not be necessarily something you're an expert in?
I think that's a very good point. I think that's and it could easily, if you're there listening to concerns from students, they may say information that you perhaps don't know handle yourself, and that's sensitive information. So I think it's important to listen and then refer them on to the correct people, the correct processes, internal with the university, but also external, so that they can have the correct type of support for whatever that situation is. If it's something I could support with, and I have the facilities, and also it's in my kind of range to support with, of course, I'll do that. But then if it needs to be referred elsewhere, then it it's talking to the student, and it's making sure that they are pointed in the right direction, and that I'm not taking on the responsibility of someone else, and because I wouldn't be able to provide that fully, but making sure that they still get that. That's the key thing,
Thank you. It was worth following up, and it was a good answer. Thank you very much. I'm now going to move on to the next question we've received. Cassie, I'm not going to let you answer this question, and it'll be very obvious when I ask. What has been your involvement in the SU before now, and how do you think this will benefit you as a president? If you haven't been involved, why? So that's open to anyone. Charlie.
So I've been a student trustee for the last 2 years, which, basically puts me on one of the governing boards for the SU, which it's really helped me know, kind of learn what the SU does as a whole, because as a student, when you see the SU, there's a potential for you to not fully know what the SU does on a day-to-day basis. But as a trustee, it's added such a further insight into that type of thing. And also, being a course rep for the last 3 years as well has had some form of involvement, even though it's one of those things that's been, led by the Students' Union. So that is technically some form of that. And I think those two things will kind of benefit me, because I've already got the pre-existing knowledge that a president who might not already have that, pre-existing knowledge, it might take them a while to kind of learn how the SU functions as a whole and how the SU functions on a day-to-day basis. But with that pre-existing knowledge, it's more of okay, I know how this kind of happens. Let's see these day-to-day specifics, which gives that extra insight. And I think that being tied in with also being a student ambassador for the uni, it has helped extend my knowledge, not just for the SU, but for the university as a whole. And it's kind of prepared knowledge on how to speak to people who might have questions, might be nervous about the SU or just university as a whole. So I think these forms of involvements that I've had beforehand, will kind of benefit it, because there's plenty of knowledge that I've picked up over the last year or two that might not.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charlie. So, trustee, a course rep, and a student ambassador. I think that's just like being greedy, frankly. But is there anyone who would like to compete with that level of involvement, or is there? Oh, Ali, go on. Ali, then Mariana.
I mean, I'm also. Oh God. Hi, Mariana. I'm also a student.
Can we swap to Ali, please, if that's possible on the camera?
We're on the same course, on the same board. I'm also a student trustee, and I also am a course rep. So same as what Charlie said is, yeah, it's really useful knowledge to be able to understand what and how a student union works, because I was really unaware of what really goes on, and it's really interesting. And that's kind of what pushed me to want to run for president, was because I was super passionate about the things that the student union does. So yeah, that's the kind of experience I have. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Mariana?
Hi. So as my lovely colleagues mentioned, I'm also a student trustee. I am a course rep, and I am actually a campus officer right now in Epsom, and I run my 3 societies in the student union, which are my lovely babies. And all of these gave me really a big range of insight within the student union, and it made me know a lot of people and start my own community, like starting to build my community with my societies. And from that, I also understand that it's really important to have a community, principally when you are an international student, and all of these little things that became bigger things led me to run for the presidency. So thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. I'm going to ask one more question, which is going to be for everyone. It's going to be a quick, and this is going to be a quick fire. I'd like you to be 10 seconds maximum, please. This is from Alex Horton. If you could change one thing about the university instantly, what would it be and why? So please don't spend more than 10 seconds answering this question. I'd like everyone to have a go at this. Oliver, you go first.
I would like to extend the university's opening hours. Earlier starts from at least 7 a.m. Or if not 8 a.m. or up till midnight. The university should be 24 hours, and it's a real shame that UCA is not 24 hours.
10 seconds, thank you. Early starts for Oliver. Charlie, over to you.
Ooh, so I think one of the things I want to change straight away would be just presence on campus. Make everyone feel welcome, makes everyone feel like they fit in. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Cassie, 10 seconds, please.
Something that I would really like to see is more accountability and visibility from the leadership team directly to the student body. So when big changes are being made, we're being explained to from the horse's mouth why this is happening and what the reasons are behind it.
Thank you. Suryash, 10 seconds, please.
The timing of the library, I think that especially the library should be open 24/7, and especially by the time of the submission deadlines are near. I think that the library should be open 24/7, as we are creative people, and creative people used to think a lot during night time, and then library would be a nice place to
Thank you very much. Yeah. That's, and by the way, that's much better with the headphones. So keep those on. It's working. That's working right.
Yeah.
Mansi, 10 seconds, please.
Yeah, I would like to have on-campus placements as well, be it part-time or like full-time. So I would like to see that.
Thank you very much. Very speedy. You're very good. You're the quickest so far. Gold star for you. Mariana.
I would say, as mentioned before, the times of closing of the university, I believe they should be 24/7, because most of us need it, not just for the studios, but as well for the library. And personally, it would be amazing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people share the same opinion.
Thank you very much. And Ali.
I want more communal student spaces. So student spaces in the campuses, student spaces in the bedrooms. Like, you know what I mean? Like the place where you stay. I forget the word, but there.
I think I know what you mean. I think it's
accommodation.
Yes, accommodation. Oh my god.
Yeah, accommodation. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Great stuff. Thank you very much, everyone. Right, we are now going to move on to the next bunch of questions are all going to be relating to your specific manifestos. If you put one forward, this is an open question, and it might seem like a trick question to begin with, but it's not. I promise. So it's open to anyone to answer. Could someone tell me the names of the 3 president positions, please?
I feel like I should know this.
Would you like to have a go?
Well, they all have the title of president, but I imagine it would be President Canterbury, President Epsom, and President Farnham.
I can see some heads nodding here. Does that sound right? Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
We're asking this question because the thing is, several of you haven't actually put clearly the position you're running for in your manifesto. We thought that might be worth raising. Several of you put president or Students' Union president, but not talked about the campus that you're going to be the president of. It's just important. We wanted to highlight it because it's important. You aren't going to be the sole president. There are going to be 3 presidents, 1 for each campus, and each elected officer will be equal to the other. And that's important. So we were interested to check you definitely knew what you were all running for, but you all nodded, so I'll trust you. So those of you who have done it and you'll know who you are, well done for stating the exact role that you're going for. We'll now get into your actual manifesto, some more direct manifesto questions. 2 minutes again. This will be open to a specific group of you, and you'll know who you are. So engaging with the Student Union staff, Student Union officers, and university staff can provide valuable insights and guidance for candidates running in these elections. For those of you who've not done that yet, who've not taken that opportunity to speak to one of those groups of people, could you share your perspectives on the importance of seeking that kind of interaction and the potential benefits it might offer? Ali, you have a big smile on your face. Does that just you want to go?
No,
Oh, you just like the question.
My window.
Is there anyone who's not spoken to as your staff member, a current officer, or a university staff member about what it's like to be an officer, who might have an idea of why it might be a good idea? I can wait all night, friends.
I'll go.
There you
so you know, my campaign little bit. So I think I have engaged with the Students' Union and university staff quite a lot during my time at UCA, and it's always something I've wanted to do as Farnham president. I think there's that nervousness of doing it, but I think through my work on the film course, or being a course rep for the 3 years, my course, my activeness doing external kind of work, doing Young Surrey Film Festival, setting that up, working with fellow students on other courses to make that happen, and to now what it's become. It kind of shows, I guess, my own self-initiativeness. There you go, that's the word. To kickstart things and make things happen. But it is incredibly important to always speak with the SU and work with the SU and university staff. And I wouldn't be able to have done, half the things I've done at this university without support of the SU, but also the university staff. So it's incredibly important. And I guess anyone watching, it's always important to talk with the university, especially kind of when you want to do something like this. So yeah, I guess does that answer the question? Maybe.
I think it answers it very well, and so I'm going to say self-initiativeness is a fully acceptable word for the purposes of this evening. So I'll ask another question, this is for everyone now. If elected, how would you plan to go about fostering open communication and collaboration with Student Union staff, the other officers, university staff, especially at the very senior level? I'm interested in what kind of strategies you would employ to ensure that you're well informed, that you're receptive to people's expertise, and how you're going to try and work cohesively to address the needs and concerns of the student body effectively. So if elected, how would you collaborate with other SU or university staff to address student needs effectively? Just pop your hand up if you go. Mariana.
So I believe I would start by having meetings both with the university staff and the heads of the university and with the people of the SU, of course. Weekly meetings or from 2 to 2 weeks to try to understand what is going on, if there are any changes, and what can we do to collaborate with the university and vice versa, so we can provide more information and more awareness of what is going on in both the the university and the SU, collaborating in between those two departments, let's call them that, and have the university as well promoting some events that we might have, and promoting the SU as well, as in, like, if you need some support about X, then go and talk about your concerns. Well, you can always go to the SU and they will help you the best way they can. So I believe that would be one of the things that I would do to try to have efficiency in the communication
Thank
between
you very much.
organizations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share their approach to stakeholder management? Charlie, go for it.
So I feel like half the things that I've put in my manifesto kind of require student feedback or a bit of research to be done first for it to be implemented, like, you know, to its full potential type of thing. And like, for example, in my manifesto, it talks about increasing affordability of like allergen friendly food in the canteen. That's not something that I can do by myself. That's something that requires, like, you know, collaborations with the actual canteen staff, with the SU to help put out like the questionnaires and so on. And it's reliant on the students and what they put in that, like, you know, that feedback that, you know, makes it effective. So I feel like a lot of it is like collaborating with the SU itself and uni staff alongside actual student feedback to integrate what is needed to, you know, like, for something to reach its peak efficiency of like implementation.
Thank you very much. As someone who writes trustee board papers, I appreciate the use of peak efficiency. That's the kind of language I like to put in papers. So thank you for that, Charlie. We're going to move to the next set of questions. These will be individually aimed one by one, and these are very much about like what's in your manifestos. So I believe, well, Faiza's first, but Faiza isn't here. If Faiza is able to join us, I'll ask that question later. Cassie, you come first. Look at you. If elected as president of Canterbury campus, you're going to probably need to make some tough decisions about resource allocation. Higher education in the UK is under immense financial pressure at the moment, as international student recruitment is significantly down across the country. Your manifesto talks about the student experience and the importance of it. Could you share your priorities and the approach you'll take when it comes to preserving and enhancing the overall student experience during these challenging times? And how would you go about trying to strike a balance between fiscal responsibility, as you are a governor of the institution, and ensuring that the areas most crucial to students' well-being, growth, and success are adequately supported and protected? You've got 2 minutes.
I think the beefiest question you've ever asked me.
You're welcome.
That's a really tough one. I think there's my priorities, but there's also the student priorities, and I have to make sure that I'm constantly aligning what I'm doing with the student voice and the student needs. So one of my key priorities for this year that I'll be continuing next year is to revitalize the course rep system, to make sure that course reps are a direct chain of feedback through the union to the university, and it doesn't just stop at course boards where people are feeling that they might not be heard. So I think revitalizing the course rep system is a must, so that I am able to use the student voice to help assess my priorities. And then also using the data and research that we get through course reps to align that with the work that the university is doing at the moment. So if I know, for example, that the cost of living crisis is at the forefront of students' minds, then I can put my efforts towards the cost of living meetings and initiatives that the university are doing. I would say that it's very difficult to keep your ear to the ground, but it also has to be student-led and student-focused continuously, and that requires me going out again and again and getting feedback continuously, and not just taking one set and then running with it. But my priorities lie with cost of living, with the mental health crisis, and with supporting international students. And I will be doing that and reviewing that through the help with the course rep system over the next year. I hope that answers the question.
That's not for me to decide, Cassie, but thank you very much for your answer. Mansi, you are up next for this question. Oh, by the way, first before I get into it, it's great to see a postgraduate student getting involved in our elections. That's not something that happens too often. So thank you very much for standing and being interested. So the question is, in your manifesto, you've highlighted the importance of raising awareness about university events. However, as the potential president of the Students' Union at Canterbury, a key part of your role would be to advocate for and promote Students' Union events and initiatives. So could you share your thoughts on how you plan to strike a balance between effectively communicating about university happenings whilst also ensuring that Students' Union events receive equal, if not greater, emphasis and visibility? As the representative body for students, how would you prioritise and champion Students' Union activities and programmes? Over to you. 2 minutes.
Yeah. So first of all, I believe a lot of emails are already been have already been sent, and a lot of emails just get neglected by a lot of students. So I was thinking the best thing to do would be word of mouth. So instead of so there are these groups where I do which are like non-official as well, like the WhatsApp groups and everything. So maybe if the word of mouth is spread to the groups, or like even while talking to each other, then that would be like an efficient way to talk about the events, or like even a lot of times the posters which are created are not quite visible. So we could target our areas where the students just enter every single day, and then the posters would be visible, or where it's seen. So maybe that could be a choice, if that answers.
It does. Can I just a follow up? So that what you were saying about what the getting into informal WhatsApp groups, how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of groups which are unofficial, but then maybe we could create an official WhatsApp group, or like there are different portals such as even on Instagram. I don't think a lot of people know about the Instagram group, so maybe through these WhatsApp groups we could promote the Instagram or like Telegram groups. So maybe that could be it. We could create an official WhatsApp group.
Thank you very much. Great stuff. Okay, dokes. I'm going to move to Mariana next for the next question. So, Mariana, in your manifesto, you've highlighted important principles like unity, representation, and amplifying student voices, all great things. And one of the key points you've raised is growing our community. Could you elaborate on your specific vision and plans to foster a stronger sense of community amongst the student body? What specific initiatives or approaches would you implement to bring students together? How do you try and promote inclusivity with that and ensure that diverse perspectives are embraced and celebrated? Help us understand the practical steps that you would take to turn that aspiration of growing our community into reality.
Right.
2 minutes, please.
Hello. Starting with some events with diverse cultural events, and as well just activities. For example, sometimes we could have board games. Sometimes it could have bingo. Sometimes we could have more like team building games, and that would start creating and building the community itself, because people would start teaming up and they would have to learn how to work together, but in a fun way, not in like, okay, we have an assignment where we are a group. No, they would start to get to know each other. They would start by getting to know each other. They would have to cooperate and be effective in some of the activities. It would be a healthy competition, I guess. So with some activities that could be led by the students and made with them, because to catch their interest and for them to be engaged and create this community, because community engagement is one of the biggest points in my manifesto. I believe that if they get involved, it's going to be easier and catch their attention, because they will be part of something bigger than themselves, that they aren't doing it alone. They are doing it as a team, there is constructing something bigger. For example, like an event, we could ask our event team to have volunteers to help them prepare, to come up with ideas.
10 seconds, please.
As soon as their ideas get heard, they would also be included, and that would be as well inclusivity. So,
and that's your time.
I hope that answered the question.
The elections will decide that. But thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Ali, you are next. It's student trustee night, clearly. So thank you for standing. Ali, your manifesto outlines an interesting proposal to introduce a student radio station, which would certainly enhance the campus experience. However, as a student trustee and as someone with knowledge of the student union's finances, you're, I assume, aware of the budgetary constraints that we have, particularly when it comes to funding student activities, clubs and societies. And I think you've even seen in the chat, there's a question there, we want more sports activities. What's your thoughts on this? So could you talk us through your thought process and vision for making a student radio station reality? What would be your approach to securing the necessary resources, whether through reallocating existing funds? Would you look to alternative revenue streams, or would you be seeking external support? 2 minutes, please, on that.
Cute, thank you. So yeah, obviously knowing the budget and it probably not having the space for a radio station, it's really interesting that to like look into that kind of thing. A radio station is like the biggest picture that I would have, probably starting small and seeing if people were really interested in it. I think Farnham had it a little while ago. I'm not quite too sure on that, but they had to halt on it because of the budget. But yeah, I think I would be like resourcing externally for that mostly because I think it's something that the uni probably wouldn't really see as a priority. However, fostering like students and getting together and working together to create this thing is something that's really, really important for I think like coming together. And that's kind of one of my things was to bring students from different campuses together and working together on something collectively and creatively, because we don't really have that right now. And we're told that you can talk to other people, but it's really hard to get in contact and to know who's who and who's from where. So yeah, I think it would be resourcing externally, maybe doing some fundraising initiatives for that as well. It would really be up to who's all interested, and then if it got a lot of leeway and traction, then it would be kind of thinking it for actuality kind of thing within the next year, being okay, who would support this, who would how would we get the funds for it, where would we get the technology, because I know Epsom has the sound studio, and I'm fairly sure the other campuses have equipment similar as well. So it'd be would they do it from their bedroom? Would they host it independently and then post it onto a platform that's a podcast type?
10 seconds, Ali.
Perfect. But yeah, so yeah, just kind of figuring out that kind of thing within the next year would be the biggest thing for me.
Thank you, Ali. It sounds like you would have a very significant spreadsheet for that plan.
Yeah.
Which I would support and endorse. Charlie, you are up next. Another student trustee. I'm very glad my trustee papers haven't been putting you off. So my question, Charlie, related to your manifesto, is that in this election, you're running for the president of Farnham campus, which carries a specific focus on representing the Farnham campus community. But your manifesto suggests it's crucial that all students, regardless of the campus, feel a sense of belonging and engagement with the broader student union. So could you share your vision, your plan for fostering a cohesive community that goes beyond just the campus boundaries? How are you going to ensure that the various needs and perspectives of students across campuses are heard and valued? And how would you try to ensure that cross-campus collaboration without stepping on other officers' toes?
That's a very good question, actually. I feel like part of this can be solved by increasing the presence of the Students' Union on Farnham campus in particular, because that's the campus that will be based on. There's quite a few students on the Farnham campus that only kind of know the Students' Union as the Glass House or the nighttime venue. So by increasing a sense of presence, it gives the potential for students to be aware of the issue and what it actually does on a day-to-day basis. And I think alongside that, by increasing the awareness for students actually knowing what the SU does on each week, then there can be more daytime events type of thing, like whether it be during, you could do things during certain months, like there could be something specific going on during Pride Month or Black History Month. Like there is so much potential to increase these communities that can help the students feel like they're part of an inclusive community at the same time. And it's not, these type of things can't just stick, they can't just be only on one campus. These type of things can apply to all three campuses. And through this you can kind of avoid stepping on every campus president's toes, as you said, by working around other campuses and their needs and what other campuses are currently working on, especially towards their president's manifestos. Like there is quite a bit of potential to make the students more aware of the issue, what it actually does, and as part of that, make the students feel like they are part of the Students' Union itself. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okie dokie. Next up is Oliver. Your turn now. It's a short but sweet manifesto from you. Now, your manifesto emphasises providing accessible green spaces for students. Could you outline your specific plans to enhance outdoor areas, promote sustainability initiatives, or is it to encourage students to utilise these resources for recreation and environmental consciousness? Essentially, how do you go about creating a greener and more eco-friendly campus experience?
Yeah, so I think where Farnham is got one of its major benefits is its environment and its place in the world, and it's something that the town prides itself on. And I think it's something perhaps that we can build in to improve students' well-being. And I think opening up those green spaces will allow students to have that other space to go to and more spaces to go to, especially during kind of when there's nice weather and just kind of during kind of when they want to eat food, because you should feel that you can enjoy the whole of campus, and I feel sometimes it's a bit limited. And I think you make a good point about the whole sustainability, and I think that's a really important aspect. So by having kind of hot water on campus, having microwaves, it means that students don't have to rely on disposable or kind of single-use plastics. They can use their own Tupperware. They can use their own kind of hot water, whatever they want to use. So it's kind of more encouraging towards the environment. So I think that's what I'd like to encourage as well. And it's part of my other pledges, kind of intertwining together. So hopefully I would like to, and then spread that across the whole of campus and improve students' well-being in that way, as well as financially too.
Thank you, Oliver. Just as a follow-up, admittedly, I've not been to Farnham campus too often, but where are those green spaces? Which green spaces are you thinking of in particular?
Yeah, of course. So just by there's a walkway, and it cuts down into town. It's next to the car park, and there's trees there, and it's quite nice. It's the sculpture park, and in there, I think there's availability for improving that space, because at the moment when you walk past it, it's a lovely space, but it could be used in a much more effective way. I've seen there's a lack of, I appreciate that it's winter, but when we have nice weather, there's no benches as well in the kind of, there's some benches, but there's none of the deck chairs anymore within the quad. So I think just having that availability to go to another space, and perhaps to a space and create it as a green space. There's also green spaces inside the spinal corridor. There's kind of outdoor area, which again is underutilized. If we can perhaps kind of provide hot water facilities, other facilities there, then it would encourage students to go there, and would be another, it would just encourage people to have that sense of belonging, have that sense of community, and spend time together in a nice environment. I don't know, it adds
Thanks,
something
Oliver.
to the campus.
Yep. Cool. Thank you very much. Right, next up is Suryansh. Suryansh, are you ready to go? Is your headphones working?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. Okay, so your question. As a postgraduate student, you'll bring a valuable perspective on the career support needs of the student body, and your manifesto highlights a desire to enhance tailored guidance and opportunities in this area. So, could you elaborate on your vision for elevating the quality and the effectiveness of career support at UCA? What specific areas or aspects are you looking to strengthen or to introduce? And as well as that, how would you work collaboratively with the existing university staff to complement and build upon their efforts so that there's a cohesive approach to career development for students across all disciplines and across all levels of study?
Yeah. So I have done some brainstorming while talking to the students here in the campaigning. So they gave me some couple of ideas that while talking to the university staff and collaborating with them, we can have some annual festivals in which we can have some competitions, some creative competitions apart from the academics, such as a 48 hours filmmaking competition or something creative competitions, illustration competition, animation competition, that which will be apart from the academic studies, but won't be ranked or marked, but it would be very much interesting for the students and the university staff as well to collaborate and develop a good environment for the students to foster a good culture in the campus.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right, I think I have asked a question now of everyone who is with us. We're nearly there. We are nearly there. There is one more question for you all. And I hope you've been told, my understanding is you've been asked to have a piece of paper ready in front of you, because I'm going to ask you to write something down. Which candidates would you like to work alongside you as the other presidents? These can include the candidates who are not present tonight. I'll give you 20 seconds to scribble down your answers, and you can hold up your piece of paper to the screen when I call for time. So, which candidates would you like to work alongside you as the other presidents? Ali, you look shocked. You look shocked at this question, Ali. Oh, yes, certainly.
Yeah, so the people who are here on the screen, am I supposed to write about them? Like any one of them?
It could be any of the other candidates, not necessarily just the ones here tonight that you'd like to work with.
Are we just writing two down?
Well, I have not been specific.
Okay.
Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
If everyone could hold up their bits of paper now, please. So, oh no, there we go. I think we can see. I think we can see most of the names. Thank you very much, everyone. You will all be thrilled to hear. That concludes tonight's question time. Thank you to all the candidates for taking part, and to you for watching along and for sending in your questions. You can read more about the presidential and campus officer candidates at ucasu.com/elections. Voting opens tomorrow at 10 a.m. So please head to the elections website, log in with your student login details, and cast your preferences. Remember, you can cast more than one preference. So if your first preference candidate doesn't win, you can vote for a second preference. Voting will close at 3 p.m. this Friday, and there will be a live results announcement on Friday evening. You'll be able to watch that live stream, just like tonight's stream, from 5 p.m. This Friday. Candidates, well flipping done. It's not easy to do that. I hope you're feeling proud of yourselves. You should be. To everyone at home, make sure you vote. go eat some fruit. Go and get some fresh air. Okay, I'm gonna go and stroke my cat. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.